16-year-old girl stands next to a custom-built rock crawler surrounded by grown men twice her age. They're not there to cheer her on. They're there to compete against her. And she's been beating them for years. Katelynn Bourne has dominated one of the most dangerous motorsports in America, winning championship after championship. While most teenagers are worried about getting their driver's license, her connection to Matt's off-road recovery brought her into the spotlight of millions of YouTube subscribers. But lately, fans have been asking the same question over and over. Where did she go? The truth is far more complex than anyone realized. Katelynn Bourne wasn't handed success on a silver platter. She earned every single victory through raw talent, relentless dedication, and a fearlessness that would make grown men think twice. At just 11 years old, while most kids were playing video games and hanging out at the mall, Katelynn was behind the wheel of a highly modified rock crawler, learning to navigate terrain that would make experienced off-roaders nervous. Her father Kevin had been competing in extreme rock crawling for over 2 decades, but he struggled with the same problem that plagues many competitors: finding a reliable consistent teammate. The sport requires both a driver and a spotter, someone who can guide the vehicle through impossibly tight courses marked by orange cones while racing against a brutal 10-minute clock. Kevin made a decision that would change both their lives. Instead of continuing to search for the perfect spotter, he put his young daughter in the driver's seat and took on the spotter role himself. What happened next shocked the entire rock-crawling community. By age 14, Katelynn wasn't just competing, she was dominating. She finished first in 4 out of her last 6 competitions and took second place in the other 2. She won both the Western and Eastern Series championships and qualified for nationals in Farmington, New Mexico. But that was just the beginning of her journey. Matt's off-road recovery and the competitive rock-crawling world operate in the same circles, sharing sponsors, equipment, and a deep love for pushing vehicles to their absolute limits. Matt had heard whispers about a teenage girl who was embarrassing adult competitors on some of the most difficult courses in the country, and his curiosity got the better of him. When he finally witnessed Katelynn in action at a competition, he immediately recognized something special. Not just her driving ability, but her composure under pressure and her instinct for reading terrain. These weren't just competition skills. They were exactly what his recovery crew needed when pulling vehicles out of impossible situations in the Utah wilderness. The connection made perfect sense. Rock crawling competitions prepare drivers for the exact scenarios that MOR faces on nearly every recovery. Steep inclines, loose rock, narrow passages, and the constant threat of a rollover. Katelynn had spent years perfecting her ability to listen to her spotter, make split-second decisions, and maintain control when most people would panic. Matt saw potential beyond just another crew member. He saw someone who could bring a fresh perspective and genuine off-road expertise to his already skilled team. But what happened next would complicate everything in ways neither of them expected. When Katelynn joined Matt's off-road recovery, she became the youngest member of a crew known for tackling some of the most dangerous vehicle recoveries ever filmed. Her LinkedIn profile lists her official position with more, cementing her role as both an employee and an on-screen personality. For fans of the channel, seeing a teenage girl working alongside veterans like Ed Heath and the rest of the crew was refreshing and unexpected. She brought technical skills that rivaled crew members with decades more experience, and her fearless approach to difficult recoveries quickly earned respect from both the team and the millions of viewers watching from home. Her presence on the channel represented something bigger than just another crew member joining the team. In a male-dominated industry, Katelynn proved that skill and determination matter more than age or gender. The off-road vixens community celebrated her as a role model, with fans commenting that she was such a BA and expressing pride in having a young woman representing the sport so well. She became a sponsor for the organization, further cementing her status as an important figure in the off-road world. Her appearances on MOR showed a different side of her personality. Not just the focused competitor, but someone who could handle the pressure of filming, work as part of a larger team, and represent the channel to its massive audience. Yet, behind the scenes, tensions were building that nobody saw coming. What sets Katelynn apart from other teenage athletes isn't just her driving ability, it's her business acumen. When her father told her that continuing to compete would require financial backing, she didn't complain or give up. Instead, she picked up the phone and started making calls. At just 14 years old, Katelynn personally secured sponsorships from some of the biggest names in the off-road industry. Maxxis Tires, Yukon Gear and Axle, Raceline Wheels, Adams Drive Shafts, Summit Machine, Aura Struts, and many others. These weren't small local businesses throwing a few $100s her way. These were major industry players investing serious money in her competition career. The sponsorship list kept growing. War Industries, Winter 4x4, Jamboree, Desert Roads and Trail Society, Utah Public Lands Alliance, Goata Built, Rad Design Products, Burton Built, PRP, Off-Road Vixens, JM Rigging, Matt's Off-Road Recovery itself, and more all backed her team. Landing these sponsors required professional communication skills, the ability to demonstrate value, and the confidence to negotiate deals with industry veterans who had been in business longer than she'd been alive. Katelynn wasn't just learning to drive. She was learning to run a business, manage relationships, and build a brand. These skills translated directly to her work with MOR. But they also created something else. Options. And options meant choices. The rock crawling season operates on a demanding schedule with competition spread across multiple states throughout the year. Katelynn and her father Kevin logged roughly 90 hours on the road during competition season, not counting preparation time, practice runs, and equipment maintenance. Each event required days of travel, setup, competition, and breakdown. The Western and Eastern Series events alone demanded significant chunks of time, and qualifying for nationals meant even more commitment. Meanwhile, Matt's off-road recovery films year-round, often on short notice when emergency recovery calls come in. The schedule conflict was inevitable. Reports from rock crawling forums and competition updates started showing a pattern. At the 2024 Delta Classic Rock Crawl, Kevin Bourne posted a detailed competition report mentioning that Katelynn decided to not come this year, so we switched some things up. He drove while his youngest son, Sydney, spotted, and they still managed to finish second place despite mechanical issues. The absence was notable because Katelynn had been instrumental in their previous victories. Fans on both sides started noticing something. When major competitions were scheduled, Katelynn's appearances on more episodes became less frequent. When she was featured prominently on the YouTube channel, her name was missing from competition results. Something had to give, and the question became which path would she choose, or could she somehow manage both? Social media erupted with questions. TikTok videos with titles like, "What happened to Katelynn from Matt's off-road recovery?" started racking up views with fans demanding answers about her reduced screen time. Comment sections filled with speculation ranging from reasonable to completely wild. Some suggested contract disputes or conflicts with other crew members. Others theorized she'd moved on to other opportunities or had scheduling conflicts with school. A few even speculated about more dramatic behind-the-scenes drama, though no evidence supported these claims. The mystery deepened as weeks turned into months without clear answers. The Off-Road Vixen Spotlight from July 2023 showed Katelynn at the height of her dual career, celebrated as both a competition champion and a rising star on one of YouTube's biggest automotive channels. But by 2024, her competition reports rarely mentioned more appearances, and more videos rarely featured her. Fans noticed the pattern and demanded explanations. The channel didn't address the speculation directly, leaving viewers to draw their own conclusions. Some accused Matt of not valuing her contributions. Others defended the channel, suggesting Katelynn had simply moved on. The truth, as it turned out, was far less dramatic than the speculation suggested, but it revealed something important about the choices young athletes face when multiple opportunities present themselves simultaneously. What really happened wasn't a falling out or a dramatic exit. It was something much more relatable. The truth about Katelynn's role with Matt's off-road recovery isn't controversial. It's simply a story about priorities and time management. She never quit and there was no dramatic falling out with Matt or the crew. Instead, Katelynn made a mature decision that many teenage athletes face, choosing where to focus her limited time and energy. Rock crawling competitions offered something that recovery work couldn't. the chance to compete at the highest level of her sport during the crucial years when championships matter most for building a long-term career. Her competition schedule combined with school responsibilities simply didn't leave room for consistent MR filming commitments. According to those close to the situation, Katelynn maintains her connection to Matt's off-road recovery and appears when schedules align. Her LinkedIn profile still lists more as current employment, suggesting an ongoing relationship rather than a complete departure. The rock crawling community continues to see her dominate competitions, with recent results showing she's still winning events and adding to her impressive trophy collection. At 16 years old, she's already achieved more in motorsports than most people accomplish in a lifetime, and she's done it while maintaining her education and other responsibilities. The reality is that Katelynn didn't disappear. She's been exactly where she belongs, competing at the highest level and continuing to prove that age and gender mean nothing when skill and determination are on your side. Katelynn Bourne represents something rare in the off-road world. Someone who excels both as a competitive athlete and a media personality. Her journey from 11-year-old beginner to teenage champion, from local competitor to nationally recognized talent, from YouTube crew member to sponsored professional driver, showcases the kind of dedication that most people never develop. The questions about her Mr. Appearances weren't answered with scandal or controversy because there was none to report. She simply made the smart choice to prioritize her competition career during the window of opportunity when championships and sponsorships could set up her entire future. Matt's off-road recovery gave her a platform and an opportunity, and she took full advantage of it. But when the time came to choose, she chose to chase championships. That's not a sad ending. It's exactly what any smart young athlete should do. And the door remains open for future appearances when both her schedule and Matt's needs align, keeping the connection alive for fans who hope to see her back in action on the channel they love.